All right, guys, I got a quiz for you today. And the quiz is, what does IV mean? What does that word mean? I mean, it's an abbreviation, right? Man, that is a bright. I haven't seen the sun for like 5 days, guys, because it's been cloudy. And here in the winter, right now it's just in the dead of winter right now here in Alberta, Canada. The dead of winter means the middle of winter. So the sun just kind of rises and then it goes down. Right now it's literally in the middle of the day. It's around lunchtime, and look at the sun. It's just like there, and then it goes down. So we don't get much sunlight. Just gonna let this guy go past with his dog. All right, so the quiz. All right, IV. What word does it? What is the word? Like TV. TV means television, right? So here we go. So what does IV mean? What's the word? Okay. Do you say TV or do you say television? Most people say TV, right? I'm watching TV. Nobody says I'm watching television, but you could say that. Some people say that. Okay, so just like that, with IV, most people say IV. Very few people say the real word. Okay, so let's say you get sick and you go to the hospital. The nurse will come and put a bag here with some fluids in it, and there'll be like a tube that goes down, and they'll put a needle in your arm, and the fluids will go into your blood. That's called an IV. Okay, you could say they hooked me up with an IV. The nurse hooked me up, or yeah, the nurse put me on an IV, or the nurse hooked me up with an IV. Okay, so what is the word? Actually, speaking of quizzes, I just want to mention that I've been posting quizzes on my YouTube channel under the community tab. Okay, so if you want to take some English quizzes, just easy, fun quizzes that you can learn some new words, go to my YouTube channel, click on the community tab, and you will see all my quizzes. I've started posting them 2 or 3 times a day. So the last one I just posted a few minutes ago was, or a few hours ago, maybe. Can't remember. I've lost track of time completely, guys. So the last one I posted was, what is a baker's dozen? Okay, is a baker's dozen 10, 11, 12, or 13? Which number? What is a baker's dozen? What does that mean? I won't tell you. You'll have to go take that quiz. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that if you want to learn some cool stuff about English, quizzes that I just think of off the top of my head. All right, things that might be interesting or might be challenging, because I like to challenge you guys. A lot of your English, I mean, a lot of my subscribers have really good English. So I like to think about some things that might challenge you. So go over there and check that out. Okay, so I'll tell you what IV means, okay? IV means, look at that nice Christmas tree there, guys. That's not what IV means. IV means intravenous. Okay, intravenous. Have you ever heard that word before? Intravenous. Now, when most people say this word, they pronounce it intravenous. Intravenous. Okay, guys, there's a vehicle coming. Better get off the path or I'll get run over. I didn't know this was a road. It's supposed to be a path, not a road, guys. So, intravenous is pronounced by most people intravenous. Because when you say the word fast, it kind of sounds like intravenous, like intravenous. Okay, so I'm saying it properly now. Intravenous. Intravenous. That's right. But what does it sound like to you? Does it sound like I'm saying intravenous or intervenous? It probably sounds kind of like I'm saying intravenous, but really I'm saying intravenous. Intra. So it's hard to hear the difference, but there is a difference, and there's a difference in meaning. Okay, so what's the difference between inter and intra? Smash like if you know, if you're smart enough to know that. Okay, so inter means between things, between more than one thing. But intra means within one thing. Okay, so with the word intravenous, thought I heard a bike, guys. There's no bikes around here. So intravenous means the fluid from the bag, the IV fluid. That fluid is called the IV fluid. I don't know what it does. I guess it keeps you hydrated while you're sick in the hospital. Probably pumps some sugar into your blood or something, right? So that IV is going into your vein. Venous, that's where the word Venus means vein, I guess, right? Within the vein. So when they poke the needle, when the nurse takes the needle and pokes the needle into the vein, right? That's going within the vein. So when you think intra, think within. Inter, think between different things. Okay, so what are some words that you can think of with inter? Inter. What about international? International, what does that mean? That means between different countries, right? So if I ask you the question, have you ever traveled internationally? That means, have you ever left your country and gone to a different country? Right? Because inter means between different countries. Man, it's cold out here, guys. I should have brought my gloves. I'll have to switch hands. I'll put this hand in the pocket, warm it up for a few minutes, and then I'll switch hands. Okay, so international means between different countries. If I were to ask you, have you ever traveled intranationally? Now, I can't see you guys, it's so bright. I have to take my hand out of my pocket again. I don't want to keep walking that way because there's some construction going on over there, and then you might not be able to hear me. So let's walk back this way. So if I ask you the question, have you ever traveled intranationally? Now, nobody uses that word. Nobody would say that. But what that means is, have you ever traveled within your own country? Now, the word that we would use there is domestically. Okay, so you know when you go to the airport, you see two places, a sign that will say domestic flights this way, international flights that way. So if you want to go to a different country, you have to go to the international departures place, right? But if you want to go within your country, then you need to go to the domestic departures area, right? So another way you could say that is intranational, inside your own country. within one country, right? So what other words can you think of with inter? It's a very common prefix, right? A prefix is a little word, like a part of a word that comes it kind of at the beginning of a word, like inter. What about the word inter? Hey, you're using this right now when you're watching my video. Internet. Internet. You're using the internet to watch my video right now, right? Unless you're watching me in real life. Are you spying on me from one of these houses here, guys? That would be so funny if one of my subscribers was sitting up in one of these houses spying on me in real life and not using the internet. Then they could get live Mad English TV, live from their eyes, not from their phone, right? That'd be great. So, internet. Now, what does this word mean? It means between different things, right? Different countries, right? So if I want to find out something about your country, you know, it's like a network between my country and your country. There's some wires, I think they go under the sea, or it's through the satellites. I don't even know what the internet is, guys. But I know that in China, they don't have the internet. They have an intranet. Okay, intranet, what would that mean? Intranet. It's also a word. Okay, intra, within one thing, right? So in China, they have the internet, but it's within their own country. So there's no communication between other countries. Like, you know, it's hard living in China because, you know, you can't access any information from out of the country unless you use a VPN, which most people use. I mean, most foreigners who live in China use a VPN to access anything. Like when I was there in China, when I lived in China, I couldn't do anything. I got to my hotel in Beijing the first day and I tried to go on Google. There's no Google, right? No Gmail, no Google Maps, no Google search, no, you know, everything is Google, no YouTube, right? Can you live without Google? I remember just feeling like, okay, how do I actually do anything here? And I found a search engine called Bing. For some reason that works in China. Bing. Have you ever used Bing? I was like, what kind of life is this where people have to use Bing to search for anything, right? It was weird. But, you know, there's no Facebook, there's no Instagram, there's no anything. I mean, your life, the internet that you're used to, it doesn't exist in China. They have their own everything. It's an intranet. It's not an internet, okay? So, what other words can we think of with inter and intra? All right, hey, have you ever heard the word intramurals? Intramurals? Maybe when you were in college, you know, when you went to university, most universities or high schools or any kind of school in Canada here, they have intramurals. What does that mean? Have you ever heard that word? Intramurals. That means sports where you have a bunch of teams, like at your school when you were a kid or when you were an adult at your university. You make different teams and you play sports against each other, maybe basketball or soccer or any sport. Volleyball is a common one here in Canada. Okay, so you could say my team won volleyball intramurals. My team, guys, this bridge is slippery. Man, this ice is slick. Slick means slippery. So my team won volleyball intramurals. Your team, who are you playing against? Okay. Someone's walking here with a big dog, guys. Don't want to get eaten. Better try to escape and go over here. So if you play intramurals, who are you playing against? Are you playing against other universities or other schools? No, you're not. You're playing teams within your own school, right? That's what intramurals means. One university or one elementary school, and you have different teams and you all play each other within the school. That's intramurals. Now, if you were to play intramurals, that would mean you are playing teams from other universities. Okay? Because remember, inter means between different things. So intramurals or intramurals. When you were in, guys, I don't want to walk in the shade. I just want to get as much sun as I can out here. Oh, that's such beautiful sun. When you were in school, did you ever play intramurals or intramurals? Which one? What do you prefer? Playing intramurals or intermurals? So what other words can we think of with inter and intra? Let me know what some of your words. There are a lot of words like this, right? A lot of words have these prefixes like inter and intra. What would intergalactic mean? If you hear the word intergalactic, what do you think that would mean? Well, you already know what inter means. Now, what about galactic? What would that mean? Well, galactic means galaxies. Okay, so which galaxy do you live in? Well, we live in the Milky Way galaxy, right? So our galaxy, I don't know, it's got a bunch of different our solar system, scientists say we have a solar system, right? It's got the sun, it's got the earth, it's got our moon, Jupiter, Mars, all the planets, right? That's our solar system. But our solar system is within a galaxy called the Milky Way galaxy. Okay. But there are apparently many galaxies in the universe. I don't know how many. But so if we talk about intergalactic travel, let's say, that would mean traveling from one galaxy to another galaxy. Have you ever been to another galaxy? I haven't. I'm stuck here in the Milky Way galaxy, guys. What about intragalactic? What would that mean? That would mean within our galaxy. So I have traveled intragalactically, if that's a word. Probably is a word. That would mean I have traveled within the Milky Way galaxy. All my traveling happens to be just here on this planet. I've never left this planet. Have you ever left this planet? I've been in the air. I remember when I went parasailing in Costa Rica. I've been up in the air, but that's still within this earth, right? So I've traveled intragalactically, I could say. So, you know, these words are very common, guys. So I just wanted to make a lesson about this to teach you the difference between these meanings. And like I said, the pronunciation is almost exactly the same. So when people, like when you hear kids talk about intramurals, they will say intramurals because they make a mistake. I mean, they're hearing the word intra and they think it's inter. So kids talk about intramurals, but that's a mistake, right? If they're talking about sports within their own, you know, just casual sports within their own school, they might say, my team won hockey intramurals. But what they mean is intramurals, not intramurals, right? So, like, you know, these kinds of pronunciation things, they're not, it's not important. It's not very important how you pronounce it. What's important to know is that there's a difference. Okay, you need to know that these words mean different things, and try to pronounce it according to, just try to make a little adjustment, right? Like what were some of the intranet, you know, intravenous. It's not intervenous, it's intravenous, but like, you know, it's fine if you say intravenous. Everybody will know what you mean, but there's like that small difference, right? So just try to pay attention to that small difference. And especially when you're reading, this is, you know, it has more, like, I would say it matters more when you're reading, because then you know what it, like for example, have you ever heard the word interdisciplinary or intradisciplinary? What does that mean? Guys, let's go toward the sun. Oh, that beautiful sun. You guys should come here to Alberta, get a few minutes of sun every day. Probably in your country you can get hours and hours of sun, but in my country we can only just get a very little bit of sun. But it's nice. Even the little bit that we can get is so nice, guys. Feels nice and warm here in the sun. So when we're talking about academics, like if you're studying something in college, you will hear the word interdisciplinary or intradisciplinary. The word discipline means kind of a field of study. So what are you studying? Are you studying music? That's a discipline. Music is a discipline. Are you studying science? That's another discipline. Are you studying, you know, math? That's a different discipline. So if we have the word interdisciplinary, that would mean between different disciplines, right? You know, music, math, arts, just different fields of study, right? But intradisciplinary would mean within one field. So let's say you're a scientist and you focus a lot on your intradisciplinary studies. That means we're talking about one field of study within one, not between many different fields, right? So if you go to college, you will see those words, or you'll hear those words, interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary. Okay, so this is very common. These are common words. That's why I just wanted to you know, make this lesson to talk about the difference in meaning. It's a very easy concept. It's an easy thing to understand, right? Intra, just think about IV. It's going into your blood. It's going within your vein. Intravenous. Inter, think international. Inter means many countries. Internet, you're trying to find something from somewhere else, right? So guys, let me know your examples down in the comments. There's so many examples with this word intra. So I just came up with a few here, but let me know yours. And you know, it's just kind of an interesting thing, because when I hear people say intra, it sounds like they're saying inter. But so I just wanted to point out that small difference to you. Anyway, guys, there you have it from here in wintry Alberta. It's a nice day though, eh? Blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. Look at that. That is gorgeous, guys. Beautiful blue sky. I wonder what's beyond this galaxy. Anyway, guys, there it is. So as always, I love you so much. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're staying safe, healthy, and happy wherever you are. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.